When you think about the first time we met, what do you remember?
I remember I couldn't stand you. The first time we met, remember we played king ball, and with me and my sister and a girl across the street, we had a nice game going on, and here you come. When you got in the game, you just started slamming the ball, and you beat us so bad. I was so mad. And I remember, oh my God, I can't stand him. Who is that anyway? Because we had never saw you before, you know. And anyway, that was my first response to you.
When I think back to that day, it's hard to believe that y'all lived that close to us. You would think that we would have seen y'all, you know, in one of the neighborhood stores somewhere, but y'all have been around there for 5 years. We never saw you. And you were so pretty, you know. That's why we stopped. But the way we played king ball, you know, that's just the way we played. You know, we, you know.
Yeah, you told me that.
On our block, the girls played the same way, you know. So it was amazing that it was so, you know, the game wasn't as
traumatic for us.
No, more contentious, really.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, more competitive, I should say. That was a nice day. For me, it was a nice day. Yeah.
What are your top 3 favorite memories we share?
The birth of our daughter.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that was something.
You know, you waking one morning. It was a nice fall day. You know, and I knew something was strange because you was pacing back and forth, you know. And, you know, I knew how far along you were. And you just pacing back and forth. And I said, Debbie, you already had a baby? And you stopped pacing for a second and nodded your head, yeah, and just kept on pacing. And then, you know, at some point you just laid down and had her, you know. So that was, you know, that was definitely one of the memories, you know. A very memorable moment in our life. And then, of course, seeing you released from prison after 40 years, you know, and I'm watching all these events from prison myself, you know, because we have the same sentence, so.
Yeah. There's so many of them. It's hard to name the top 3, ain't it? The wedding, what about that?
It's hard to, you know, it's hard to beat that day too. But,
Yeah.
you know, being released from after 40 years is
really
hard to beat also.
Really? That's probably the top.
And that's the other thing, because I didn't have a chance to see as he was, you know, as you had him while we were both in prison when we first got arrested. Nearly a month later. So I never got a chance to be, you know, but of course we communicated throughout our time.
Oh yeah, that was another moment, huh?
So this is the first time I got a chance to be with him outside of prison visits, and so it's a tough top 3. That's something I'd have to. I couldn't do right here, I don't think.
It's just more than 3.
So throw them in the pot. Throw them all in the pot.
Yeah.
You know.
What's one experience you wish I never had?
Well, that's, you know, again, that's hard to give a one, because there's a few things, you know, experience I wish you never had in prison.
Yeah.
A 40-year sentence, unjustly. But mainly being torn away from my children, and certainly having your son in prison, you know.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be. Yeah.
So, and then if that wasn't bad enough, having to give him up in 2 days, you know. So, and traumatic experience of trying to raise him from prison, and, you know, your daughter, our daughter, our kids from prison, you know. So and all the challenges that presented. So yeah, I wish
Yeah.
you had never had to
Yeah.
experience that, you know, and being in prison in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, our being separated. So,
Yeah. That's about, yep. I agree wholeheartedly.
mhm.
You do.
What do you think connects us?
To be honest, I really think what connects us is true love. I really do. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I feel like because your love was so strong for me, that's what made me love you the way that I do. And so that connection, you know, is there like that. But also a lot of things connect us. The work that it takes to be connected and stay connected. Our children connects us, and despite the fact that we haven't been in their lives for years, you know, is always something to keep us connected, to draw us together, to keep us talking, to keep us making decisions, to always have to be there for them, always have to do the best, very, very, very best that we could do, even though we were from a jail cell. And it would get faint at times, but because we wanted to stay connected, and because we always wanted to be together, we made it work. We make it work, you know, the work that it takes to have a relationship, as in any other relationship. You know, you have to work so that we can make what we want possible.
Yeah, I think, you know, I don't know what people would think when they think about prison, and each of us doing such a long sentence. And they may feel that it's a natural thing to stray, to go somewhere else, to look somewhere else. You know, but to me that's like saying, well, I'm going to betray my brother because I'm in prison.
Mm.
You know, so it would be the same thing about your spouse. You know, why would you think of betraying your spouse just because you're in prison any more than you would your brother just because you're in prison? You
Right.
know? And I think people see that relationship is different, but loyalty is one thing.
Yeah, and people don't realize that you can still stray in prison. You know, just because you're behind bars does not mean that you can't, that you don't have access to the things that you have on the street. You know, alcohol, drugs, women, men. You know, it's all there too, just like on the street. So prison don't keep you from, you know, doing the things that you would do on the street that causes a relationship to go bad. So, you know.
Takes the
I
same
hear
commitment,
you.
the same work.
Yep. Because for real,
Yeah.
the streets are the prison, really. When do you feel closest to me?
I don't know. I have, you know, situations with my family. You know, I have sisters who have challenges. You know, half my family's gone now since we've been in prison. You know, sometimes with the restrictions we have about travel. You know, whenever we get the chance, you know, we have them over for dinner, or we go down to their house, or, you know, I appreciate it when I want to spend more time with them. And maybe you had plans of your own. You know, you don't mind putting your plans on hold sometimes. Or then when I'm entertaining them, or the kids, you know, the girls, you make sure, you know, things are, you know, put together, and, you know, you cook splendid meals, and, you know, whatever that you think they might like. You know, you spread the house with their pictures, and you know, that's really, you know, helpful to me, because like sometimes I'm really laid back or reserved, and I don't talk much. You know, even to them. You know.
Well, that's part of it too, because I feel like, you know, they're your daughters, and you know, if I love you, so I have to love them too, and that's just the way I've always felt. You know, they're a part of me because they're a part of you, and you know, it's real. That's the way I feel like it has to be in a relationship, because if you don't, it's just going to be constant chaos, or constant, you know, or just constant confusion, conflict. You know, so I want to love them. You know, I want to love them too. And that's just how I feel. I open my heart because I love you, and that's the way I want to feel about them too. And I do. You know, as well as our two that we have together, you know, are still a part of our lives too. And you know, that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
What do you see for us in the next 5 years?
Oh man, what I see for us is definite success. Success in meaning that our family is going to be a lot closer. You know, we had to break because of, you know, what we went through being in prison 40 years. And so that, you know, that stretched the vibration, that, you know, that tore the family somewhat, a lot. But what I see in the next 5 years is that's what I see. I see it now. I see it coming now, especially when it comes to our family. You know, the people around us, our relatives, you know, and I think it's going to make a statement to others. I think it's going to help others, you know, because this has been a really challenging path that we've been on, and I think it's going to be an example for a lot of people. You know, I mean, if we can do it, you know, certainly people will use that as motivation, you know, to help bridge gaps between whatever, whether it be a marriage with a man, you know, with your partner, or your children, or other relatives, or other people that are, or relationships, friends, you know. So it's all encompassing, and that's, you know, that's a part of our belief, you know, that everything is encompassing, everything, it applies to everything. It's really no separation in life. It's just, you know, if it applies to us, it can apply to children, brothers, sisters, father, son, everything. But I see the 5 years as being great years for us. Okay, what does my love feel like?
What does it feel like? It feels great. It does, you know. Like you referenced a couple questions ago, you know, when there's no interference and there's no, you know, but that's, you know, those moments of interference is, you know, what gives you those challenges, you know, and that makes for a great result, I think, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
You have fights, you know, the ones who have the greatest challenges are the best ones, right? The best ones.
Yeah, afterwards.
The ones,
Don't feel like it then.
Maybe not.
Afterwards, yeah.
Those are the ones that are the most
memorable one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That connects us, like makes us closer, really.
Yeah. So we've had our challenges, and you know, it's gonna be hard to interfere any longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People gonna have a definite challenge when they come messing with this relationship. You know, so tried and tested champions, man.
Champions, yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Hey, so if that video moved you, if you dug it, if you want to see more of them, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so we can keep you updated about our weekly releases. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining.